Most people are going to waste 2025. You heard me, straight up waste it. They're going to make the same resolutions, follow the same routines, and end up in the same place wondering why nothing ever changed. But here's the secret that not many people are talking about. Your year won't be defined by what you do. It'll be defined by what you decide to stop doing. Most of us don't fail because we're lazy. We fail because we're focused on the wrong things. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to cut the noise, make room for what matters, and build a year of exponential growth without overwhelming yourself in the process. And here's the best part. This isn't just a motivational talk or a podcast. This is the Full Vantage podcast where it's trying to take different angles into things that we actually care about. So I'm going to give you practical steps backed by a little bit of science, a little bit of personal experience, and faith that will make 2025 the most focused and fulfilling year of your life. I believe that to be true, and I believe it can be true. It depends on whether you believe it or not, and begin to take steps that direction. Yes, it's a few days after Christmas. Yes, 2025 is coming our way. But by the end of this episode, you'll have a clear, and you could have a clear plan to eliminate distractions, focus, and dial in on what truly matters, and build a year you'll be proud of. If you're ready to stop running in circles and start running toward your purpose, this is for you. Let's go. Here's a question for you. How much of what you're carrying into 2025 actually matters? Most of us don't realize we're dragging around commitments, habits, and expectations that weigh us down. Let's look at the numbers. The average person makes around 35,000 decisions a day. That mental exhaustion, even before lunch, is completely overwhelming. See, the problem isn't that we're incapable. The problem is that you can't make those types of decisions. In some ways, the problem is that you do and that you can. And you put that kind of pressure on yourself to make those types of decisions. It's that you're overwhelmed and your brain is a supercomputer. And even supercomputers and really powerful things need rest. And guess what? Every computer will crash if it's overloaded enough. You can't climb the mountain of your future if you're dragging the baggage of your past. Let go or stay stuck. The choice is yours, and the choice is mine. So here's a quick action step for this type of thing. Grab a piece of paper, write down everything you're committed to: work, relationships, hobbies, habits, everything. Now circle the 3 things that matter most to you. Everything else, guess what? It's time to start letting some of that go. Now let's talk about how to build some momentum into 2025. Got a few days, 3 or 4 days, whenever you're catching this, or maybe you're catching it at the beginning of 2025. It's okay. Let's build some momentum. But how do we build momentum? Most people think success is about making huge changes overnight. It's not, and it never will be. James Clear, he wrote this book called Atomic Habits. And it's a really fascinating book, and it's really in depth, and it's how to change the micro details of our lives to see a macro effect. And he has some real game-changing ideas. And here's one of them. If you get just 1% better every day, you'll be 37 times better by the end of the year. I absolutely love that idea. Think about that for a second. 1% is nothing every day. You barely even notice it in the moment. But over time, it compounds into exponential growth. And here's the kicker. Small, consistent actions are more effective than big, unsustainable ones. I've said this. Your life is already complex. Good luck adding any other complexity to something that's already complex. Here's what you can do. You can simply do something very, very micro and small, and therefore see a complex life change over time, because it adds something that's simple. It adds something that's actually game-changing. Here's the thing that I want us to focus on in this moment. Stop chasing overnight success. Build daily disciplines, and the people who win aren't the ones who start fast. They're the ones who do not stop, who cannot stop. And I think that's for us. And even as I think about this, I think about the conversation that I was having just recently about how the different types of games that we play, we'll stop playing the games that are less than and start thinking about the things that really matter most and use those to actually change our lives. Yeah, here's something that you can do to help you begin to be practical. Pick one small habit you can start today that aligns with your biggest goal, or that you could see have a domino effect to your biggest goal. Commit to it for 30 days. Make it so small you can't fail, because consistency beats intensity every single time. What's the smallest thing you can do every day so that you can start celebrating it? That is one of the things that I have come to learn and understand as really the first month of 2025, I will hit 1,000 days of running in a row. If I would have started saying, I'm going to run 1,000 days in a row, I would have never even started. But the goal and the consistency kept building on itself as I actually first focused on 75 days in a row. Just doing something simple for 75 days. And then from there, I wanted to do more as it built. Do not stop yourself from doing more of the things that you need to do in your life, because you have so many things that you're doing in your life. Let's do the right things. Pick one small habit. Let's move from there. So as we choose the habit, or we choose the small action step that we could take, I genuinely do not want this or any episode that we have or anything that I talk about to ever come across as if I'm telling you what to do. Never. So these are things that I'm learning myself. I'm being challenged, and these are coming from the books or the conversations that I'm literally having on a regular basis, because I just simply care. And I think that's the point, is that we live a life that cares. Because let's be frank. To be honest with you, at the end of 2025, you will not measure your success internally or mentally by what's in your bank account or the tasks that you crossed off on a list. By the way, I am not a list guy. I can't get into lists. That's not me. But if it's for you, more power to you. People like me need you in our lives. But the things that we will measure success by are the depths of our relationships, what we actually experienced with the people that we love and that we're going through life with most. Here's why. There was this Harvard study of adult development that really measured human happiness. And it was really the longest study ever done on human happiness. And this is what it found out. It found out that the strong relationships are the single biggest predictor of health and fulfillment in someone's life. Not money, not status, relationships. But here's the biggest problem. Most of us invest more time in managing our inbox than in nurturing our connections. And we wonder why life feels so empty. It's because we're not investing in anything that actually matters or that actually lasts or maybe even echoes into eternity. If you're too busy for the people you love, you're too busy. Stop living a life that looks good on the outside but feels empty on the inside. Real success starts with real conviction. Do you have any convictions? And then that conviction will lead you to connection. Let's make some connections. What are you so convinced of that you would give your life for? I bet it's somebody that's close to you. I bet it's somebody that you love. And guess what? When you know that to be true, you'll make a connection that is very clear and that actually is successful. So here's something we can do in this area of our life. Write down 3 people you want to connect with in 2025. Maybe you're currently connected with them, but 3 people that you want to stay connected with, that you need to stay connected with, that you need to be connected with, that you're going to invest in 2025. Reach out to one of them today, right now. Tell them that is who they are in your life. It could be a text, a call, or an invitation to coffee. Connection doesn't happen by accident. It happens by choice. Don't forget it. Preparation isn't about doing more, though. I love this type of episode for me personally because there's been action steps every step of the way. Feel free to go back and share those with somebody. Send this to somebody that you would like maybe a little bit of accountability to make you do one of those action steps. Because preparation is where we are right now. We're preparing for another big year. And I love the fresh start of a new year. I don't love New Year's resolutions. I love convictions that are clear. I love vision that changes me. I love goals that compel me. Because what happens when we start to prepare, is we don't let failure be an option. Because there's that old adage of if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Okay, I love that type of stuff. But it's not about doing more. Preparation's never been about that, and it's not going to be about that. It's about creating space for what matters most. When you focus your energy on the few things that truly move the needle, everything changes. And let me be real. For me, the foundation of my focus, it is my faith. It is my faith in Jesus. So for me, that's where I begin to build everything. See, he modeled a life of clarity, purpose, and love that I legitimately could not ignore. And once I began to see that foundation change me forever, it was time for me to invite others to see what he was about. So whether you share that faith that I have or not, the principle still applies. Meaningful life is built on meaningful focus. The biggest mistake you can make in 2025 is chasing what's urgent while ignoring what's important. Every time. Your year isn't going to change because of what you do in January. It's going to be change. I'm gonna start over because I really think this is important. So, Austin, I'm gonna adjust. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Preparation isn't about doing more. It never has been. It never will be. But just because I have a lot going on in my life doesn't mean I'm preparing. See, preparation is about creating space for what matters most. Don't miss this. Don't miss this segment. Don't miss this point that I'm about to make because I think this is clear for all of us, and I want to be really honest with you. When you focus your energy on the few things that truly matter and that truly move the needle, everything changes. And let me be real for you right in this moment. The foundation of my focus is my faith in Jesus. Every single time, every single day, with everything that I have in my life. See, he modeled a life of clarity, purpose, and love that I couldn't ignore. And when I was curious enough to see if he was who he says he was, not what other people say about him, not other people's opinions, but is he legitimately who he say he was? And can I practically have a relationship with him? That changed my life forever. So, and it became something I couldn't ignore. Whether you share that faith or not, the principle still applies. A meaningful life is built on meaningful focus. The biggest mistake that you and I can make in 2025 is this: chasing what's urgent while ignoring what's important. Your year isn't going to change because of what you do in January. It's going to change because of who you become in December. Preparation is the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be. Here's the action step that I want to close with. Ask yourself this: what's the one thing in 2025 that deserves your best energy? Write it down, protect it, and build everything else around it. And see if it is what you think it is. See if it's the most valuable thing that you actually have. And then move. Do not be someone who stays where they are. Don't sit in the same place. Don't have the same exact relationship. Why? Because you can't. Here's why. Because a relationship that doesn't grow always fades. That is the danger. Because if you are not growing in depth, if you are not going somewhere with them, then guess what? The relationship is going somewhere without you. That is one of my biggest fears, is that I try to keep the relationship where it is. Because guess why? It can't stay where it is. It's either growing and going somewhere, or it's fading, and I'm going to miss it. And I'm going to miss out. This isn't something to be afraid of, but it is something to be real about. So as we wrap this episode up, I just want to thank you for being on this journey with me over this past year. And as we think about our lives, I just want to encourage you, the future isn't waiting for you to figure it out. It's not. It's waiting for you to focus on what matters. So here's my challenge. Stop wasting time on things that don't move the needle and start building a life that you really care about, that is full of what matters to you. And I just want to thank you again for spending this amazing time with me. I believe in you, and I believe 2025 can be your year of exponential growth if you're willing to prepare for it. So let's make it count. And let's make these moments count as we go together and as you go with those that you genuinely love. Full Vantage Podcast. I'm excited about 2025. We have a lot of things coming our way. But the thing is this. Are we becoming who we were made to become? Thank you for being on this journey with me. I couldn't be more stoked about the future. We'll see you soon. We'll see you in the new year. Share this with somebody that you'd like to talk about this content with. And don't just let those action steps stay action steps. I think there's one person, there's one of you that's ready to take some type of preparation seriously, and your life will change because of it. I know my life will. We'll see you soon.